should get a notification.
You're live and on the air. This is Dr. Ruth.
Are we there? Are we on?
I think we're on now.
Hello. Anybody there? Hello. Hello. Somebody's there. I think we're live. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. We're live.
Welcome again to eModels, eModels.co.uk for the eModels live stream. Welcome this evening. There is once again joined by my very special friend, Fox Wolf himself.
Hello.
Hello,
everybody. How is everybody this evening? Tonight we have to look extra posh because we got a posh coat, so I've got my posh hat, which doesn't work with the headset.
I've put my tie on. I haven't got a shirt, but I've put my tie on. I've got my vest on.
Now, Ted, I have to warn you. The boss is in the chat. The boss is watching.
Yeah, I know. That's why we've got to be extra special and smart, you see, because he said, "Here's your uniform. Wear it." So eModels uniform. So look on the back as well. It's
very swanky, isn't it? Very V-swish. Ted, you've unplugged your microphone. I think you pressed the mute button on your on the Google thing. Are you back yet? You're still not back yet. Have you unplugged your microphone? Well, chaps, folks, as always, we're organised completely. Yes, let's just see what he does. I think he's unplugged his microphone when he spun around like a ballerina. So let's have a look at the chat while Ted's... Are you back?
Are we back?
You're back now.
I'm back. I don't know. I've got that many wires going on down here. So I just spun around in the chair, pulled them all out.
Ping, ping, ping. You should ping your internet connection. That's one main thing. Shall I have a look at who's in the chattings?
Right. So, let's go back to the chat. I've got my laptop open with all the chat in, and we'll go see some hello. Northwest Modeler, good evening to you. He's asking who's finished their egg build. We'll move on and talk about the egg build shortly. Yeah. Making models, Carl. Yeah, hello, Carl. Yeah, I'm just sort of trying to read everything. Northwest Modeler. A bit of a chat between themselves.
They don't. I think we're just background noise. I think they just have a little chat themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's what we like. Fine. Everybody can chat amongst themselves as well as us, and we'll try and keep track of it as it goes out. I'll pop the chat out a little bit. I think I can see it a little bit easier. Because it's telling me my browser on the laptop isn't recognizing the video, but I can still see the chat.
Yeah, that's. I've actually got the chat on my computer screen next to the streams this time. I'm not looking on my iPad from now on. I can do it properly.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, if you are watching, just very quickly, while you're catching up in the chat, if you're watching this on the eModels website, emodels.co.uk/live, we fixed it. Yes, we fixed it. We think so that if you go on the website, you'll actually see this stream now. If you would like to join in the chat, the live chat, on the player itself in the bottom right hand corner down there should be a little YouTube button. Click on that and that will transport you magically to YouTube, where you can see the chat on the right hand side. But if you're happy just to have us in the background while you're shopping, feel free, absolutely welcome. Also, a couple of other changes. We have moderators in the chat now. Do take a moment when you get a chance to read the description below the video. It is a family friendly stream, this, so no bad language please, folks. Keep an eye on the rules and regs, but yeah, we trust you all anyway. But we have moderators in the chat now, so don't make them angry. You won't like them when they're angry.
Yeah, right. I think I've caught up. Yourself is in as a moderator, and so is Adam at Enigma Model Making. He's looking after the chat tonight. So hopefully we can get on with the chatting and sort of not have to sort of keep worrying about what everybody's saying or what that. But we will try. If you do have questions, folks, please put them into the chat. But remember that the chat does move very quickly for us, and sometimes your question may get missed. We do have one or two questions that we can do tonight. But remember, if you do want a question answered, try and get it sent in to me at ted@emodels.co.uk, and we can pick them up a lot easier and prepare for them as the live stream comes. But once again, we don't mind if you post them live in the chat, and we'll do what we can.
Stick them in the chat anyway, because it will probably pick up some of them or most of them. But even if we don't, other people in the chat will probably be able to answer the question for you.
You'll probably find
it's always a really friendly bunch in there. So
you'll probably find that your question will get answered by the guys in the chat before we've even seen it,
and then we'll answer it, and you'll be all there going, "Yeah, we know. He just told us. We know all this."
So what else we've got? So Northwest, the Orc Boys is there again.
Northwest Modeler is swearing in the chat. He said, "Revel."
Oh dear me.
Banned.
Yeah. So Carl, nice tie. Yeah, I've got my bestest tie on. I dug it out. You see, good. So
what about my swank? Does my swanky hat not get any praise?
Oh, that's
my fedora.
Fedora. Yeah, I think that is.
It doesn't fit properly when I've got my headset on though, so I'm gonna have to swap out to my normal hat because it's a bit small. Makes my head look different.
But now we've got these jackets on, I'm actually starting to sweat in here.
Yes, I'm in this room, and obviously double glazing, and it's the middle of summer, so the only thing that kills it for me is I've got a smart hat and a smart jacket, but I'm wearing combat shorts and I've got my shoes and socks off. So what happens under the desk stays under the desk.
Yeah. So if you attempt to stand up, please blank the screen and.
I'll turn my camera off for that.
Right, Rustin Customs Models. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Good evening, guys. Chris Smith. Good evening, all.
Carl's just noticed these are eModels jackets. Yes.
Yeah.
You must have missed your little ballerina pirouette earlier on there, dude.
Yeah,
don't do it again.
I'm not going to do it again because I pull all the cables out.
Yeah. Look, this is such a swanky hat. It has a proper lining and everything. See?
Is that by appointment? Is that by appointment hat? Prince of Wales.
It's Christie's at London. It was a very expensive hat. And then it very quickly lost its shape, so I didn't wear it very often.
The real deal, not the Blackpool seafront type fedora.
It's a proper soft felt fedora. Not one of these Matalan jobs like I normally wear.
Right. Where else?
David Barker says, "Please don't, Ted," as in spin round and do a pirouette.
Strenum13 says hello from France, guys and gals. So that should be bonjour.
Bonjour, mon ami. Comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci.
Northwest Model says, I want a jacket. Well, sorry, they're a little bit exclusive, these, but there might be something in the pipeline. You never know. You never know what Peter's got up his jacket sleeve as such.
Well, he may have had nothing up his sleeve, but he's got to have something now. You've said it.
See what I did there? Yeah. These guys want jackets and T-shirts. Yeah. Good.
Fox and the Last Crusade. I'm more like Indiana Fox and the Holy Contrivance, but there you go.
That's all right. Yeah, you could get chased out the man cave by a big rolling ball, a big Malteser.
I knew a girl like that once. Adam says he'll wear his fedora with me because he's got a fedora. I wanted a black one, or one with a black strip, but it's never mind. The hat needs a shark mouth. Yes, it does. Damn. Bonjour, mon petit, de FB Fox. I only speak a little bit of French, and what I do is very, very rusty, so I'll try not to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
Je parle un petit peu, juste un petit peu.
Now, it looks like one or two people are having issues with the YouTubes tonight. It's freezing and such. I think that's probably just an issue on the tubes. Its tubes itself. Just a matter of refreshing it and coming back in. We'll still be here. We'll be here for an hour or so, a good hour. It seems like originally we'd planned to sort of broadcast for an hour, but the chat and such goes on such amicably now that we go a little bit longer until we run out of things.
Until one of us is dying for a wee or something, basically. We can go for hours.
David Hunter's in says, hi folks. Nice new car there, David, that we saw today, this week. Excellent choice. David Barker says,
which one was that one?
David Hunter. He said, I've got him added as a friend on Facebook, and he's bought himself a very nice new car.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So, David Barker said he's got his smoking jacket on as well.
No, I say very good, very good.
Yeah. Well, it's actually his dressing gown, but he's pretending to be posh.
Yeah. Well, you can either be a smoking jacket or you can pretend you're a Jedi. One of the two.
Yeah.
That's a Star Wars thing. You might not.
No, I was thinking more Jason King.
Oh wow! I get that. Nobody else in the comments get that.
Yeah, who have got the beginnings of the moustache.
Yeah, you're more of a Magnum at the moment. Working your way towards a Jason King through Magnum, I think.
Scott Sutherland says, "Great, get you guys with your fancy jackets." Yeah, fancy jacket. Yeah, I can't wait.
They're very, very warm jackets.
Yeah, I need water.
There's like sheep inside here and everything.
Yeah, I'm
just the right moment to have a very hot cup of coffee in a very hot room with all the lights on. It's like
I'm going to have to wait till it really gets cold and rainy just to go out and try it.
Well, you'll be great in your shed because you're in your shed, so your shed gets cold in the winter. Actually, this room gets cold in the winter, so come winter time, this will be an absolute boon because I'll be like, I'm nice and warm in my room.
Right. Fiesta 67's workshop says, hi, fellow Stroop wafflers. Yep. Stroops.
That's it. Stroop waffles have been mentioned now, so it's fair game.
Yeah, fair game. Yeah, somebody's got to get Stroop waffles in at the evening. Ships, boats, and hovercrafts. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Nick Bevet says his stream's buffering. Yeah, I think it is just a problem with the tubes tonight.
I think the way the YouTube is set at the moment, I can change it if I need to, but it may be set for the convenience of live chat, so it may buffer occasionally because it's focusing on making sure chat is live constantly and not putting as much emphasis on the stream being continuous. So it's kind of focused more towards the chat and everybody interacting. So don't worry if it buffers, it probably will do. I can change that around if I need to.
Yeah.
But you can set it to either focus on the chat or the video. So
Northwest Model says next time he'll wear his NHS scrubs. Or not. Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, we could have been. One of these virus things. No, wouldn't. No,
hang on. I've received information that I'm a bit quiet. Hang on. I'm adjusting and sliding things now. Okay, is that better, people of the internet? Do I sound better now?
Sounds okay to me. Can I lose a bit tie now? Do you think the boss is still here? Is he gone?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to swap the hat. This one is not the right size for having a headset on. Hang on. Oh, sweaty. The reason they call it a sweatband. There you go. That's better. More air. It's got holes. You see. This one's just raffia work.
Ah, right. Yeah, it's ventilated for indoors.
Yeah, this is a Matalan special. This is $4.99, and I've had it for years. It's the perfect. It's the only hat that fits me properly.
Right, first question. We've got a first question coming from David Atkinson. Question: Humbrol acrylic.
Oh, wait, can you go any higher than that, Ted? Is that as high as you can go? Question.
Not that high.
TK says better. The audio.
Humbrol acrylic paint. Humbrol acrylic paint. I must.
Put your teeth in, Ted. Put your teeth in.
Put my teeth in. I must practice my punctuation. Humbrol acrylic thinners. Thinned 2 parts Humbrol thinner to 1 part paint. When sprayed, took over 24 hours to dry. What did I do wrong?
You used Humbrol paint?
Yeah, Humbrol paints. The acrylics, though, usually dry.
Actually, yeah, they're not that bad. They're all right.
Usually dries pretty quick. I'm probably thinking, did you stir it enough or shake it enough? It really needs a good shake. It sounds like it's the carrier that sort of it's sticking, but usually acrylics sort of dry within 20 minutes
if it's water based.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can think is, did you slap it on like cheap makeup, like an inch thick of paint, or did you build it up in slight misty coats?
Yeah. Because
if you really slap that paint on, it could take longer to dry. 2 parts thinner to 1 part paint, that's quite a lot. That's like, I mean, to me it's usually 50-50, but that's 100%. That's 200% thinner. Is that far too much thinner? Are they that thick, the Humbrol paints? I've not really used them, so I'm not really sure. I know you've used them.
Yeah, I've got some Humbrol acrylics sort of gathered in the dim and distant past. I've sort of just used them straight out of the pot.
Yeah, because I can't think of any other paint you'd need to thin with twice as much thinner as you would paint. I'm thinking it's possibly you've just thinned it way too much, and the binding agent is just gone. The other thing to make sure as well is that it is acrylic paint and acrylic thinner. You've not by accident used enamel thinner in the acrylic paint, or vice versa, because obviously Humbrol do acrylic enamels as well. I've got your speaking problem now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I'll have to look it up on what the Humbrol thinner is. I can't actually think of a Humbrol thinner for acrylics.
No, I didn't know they did an acrylic thinner. I will double check and just make sure you've not put enamel thinner into an acrylic paint. Yeah, in which case that's probably not going to end well at all. But that sounds like a lot of thinner to me. I've never come across anything that needs more thinning. I mean, I I thinned some Citadel paints today, but they're like oil, so I had to put loads of thinner in those because they're not designed for airbrush. But
I was just having a look at the thinning chart for Ultimate products. This stuff.
Synchronized.
Synchronized. Oh, we've both got some. Yeah, I was just having a look at this, and even that just says 50-50.
Yeah. This stuff, by the way, this stuff is the bee's knees.
Yeah, it's good.
I think Citadel paints with this today. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it thins anything, and yeah, it's good for cleaning up as well. Yeah. Use that. I haven't got that, but I can't honestly think, David, where your problem's gone wrong there.
Oh, I've just spotted a question that needs immediate answering, and I've just lost it now. Somebody asked, where's that question that we've just asked gone? Where's this question gone about the paint? Somebody just asked, and I've lost the question, so I can't see who it was. My apologies, but somebody just asked, what is a stroopwafel?
Yeah.
That is probably the most important question of the evening, I think.
I introduced my work colleagues to stroopwafels today.
Yes.
Yes. I think it's part of TK's world domination. I shall think we'll be hooked on stroopwafels on the MV Swan from now on.
Going back to the thinner question, TK says a lot of charts suggest about 60% thinner. You should always have normally less thinner than paint. About 60% thinner. A few people have said it sounds like too much thinner. Rustin Cupsom's model says the Humbrol acrylics give a grainy finish, but I've never used them, so I don't know. So I would be tempted to say it's maybe too much thinner. Scott Sutherland.
Hi, Scott.
Odo.
Yep.
Odo. Hang on, I can't find it now. Odo says hello, Scott. Odo the puffin. Scott Sutherland says he used Humbrol acrylics the other day and it's fine. So yeah. Although Arthur Miller says he had the same problem when he used that acrylic primer. So maybe it just has to be exactly the right balance of thinners. I think it's too much thinner in that one. I think you basically painted it thinner.
Yeah, perhaps. But yeah, even then the thinners should sort of evaporate. It's just a strange one that. Smooth says he doesn't think he's seen thinner for acrylics either, just for enamels.
Yeah.
Another question, but same sort of paint based question. What's a decent rattle can matte and gloss varnish? I think you've used more rattle cans for varnishes than I have.
Yeah, I can tell you from experience, my absolute favourite rattle can varnish is going back to Humbrol, oddly. Humbrol. Now you have to make sure, it depends what you're painting. They do an acrylic and an enamel varnish. This is matte 49 and it's acrylic. It will say acrylic on it. When I can get outside and spray, if I've got an option of going outside and using this or using my airbrush, I will always use this outside because it's dead fast and it's a really nice matte varnish. I've never had a problem with it. If it's cold and damp outside, it might go a bit spotty with the white spot, so make sure it's a dry day. It doesn't matter if it's cold really or not too cold. I've used this in the winter. As long as it's dry, if it's moist you get little white spots. But Humbrol 49 for gloss varnishes, I haven't used any, but I have been told that the Mr. Hobby gloss varnish is Mr. Gloss Coat, I think it's called, Mr. Gloss Coat, or Mr. Top Coat, I think it's called. They've got gloss, semi-gloss and matte. I think eModels may have them in stock. I'm not 100% sure. They do stock Mr. Hobby stuff. They're smaller than these, only about this big, but they're supposed to be really good as a spray-on gloss coat. I've tried the Humbrol spray-on gloss. I didn't get good results with that, but maybe you've just got to use it exactly right and I was doing it wrong. But yeah, I've told that the Mr. Top Coat is supposed to be pretty good for gloss.
Yeah, and of course all the Tamiya range are in Humbrol and the Tamiya range are in eModels.
Well, I think they may have the Mr. Top Coat. I'm not sure. Although I'm sure Peter's now trying to find out how to get Mr. Top Coat if they don't. But
yeah, I could have a look in a moment. But
it is part of the Mr. Hobby range.
Yeah.
Mr. Lowe's Model Making says Mr. Top Coat is what Japanese Gunpla builders go for. It's quite expensive for the amount you get though. Yeah, but you don't need to use a lot of it. That's the advantage. It is popular amongst Gunpla builders, but it's part of the Mr. Hobby. So If we've got it, we've got it. It is supposed to be very good.
Yeah, but mind you, that recent was it a model trade fair where they showed was it a huge Gunpla?
Oh yeah, the Shizuoka Hobby Show. For those of you who know Gunpla, Bandai did a mega size range of kits a few years ago. There's only about 4 of them, and everybody thought they died off. They've just revealed the mega size Unicorn Gundam coming out in August. It's like that tall.
Yeah,
I will be getting one.
Yeah, gonna need a few cans of stuff for that one.
Yeah, like 400. It's supposed to be 444 millimeters tall.
Well,
I think it's taller than my Yamato will be long. No, that's 666 millimeters.
See, I'm taking more notice of these things.
You are. Well, you're learning which words to say, and then you can phase out while I answer them. I see a good question from Ron Mack. Evening, guys. I lost my modelling mojo. Any idea how to get it back? I keep breaking small parts. What do you think, Ted? What do you do when your mojo buggers off and leaves you to it?
Yeah, first of all, go and do something else. Not for long, but get back to the bench as soon as you can, because it's like falling off a horse. You've got to get back up there as soon as you can. And it happens to us all. It happens to me. I'm probably thinking I've had a little bit of a loss of mojo myself in the past couple of weeks, just because work and things get a bit tired and things like that, and you get in the workshop and you think, I'll just do a little bit. But it's then, I think we've said it before, just go and do something else. Do something different in your modelling. Get something small, something easy, something quick, something cheap, and just have a go at it. And also, get yourself on Facebooks, get yourself to eModels, and just have a look at the Facebook pages of other people's builds, and that sort of will reignite the flame as such. And you'll see that other people are doing good work, and you think, oh, that's quite a nice little kit, I'll do that. And just do something easy. Like I took a little bit of time out just to practice some of this. I think I've shown you before. I'm sure I have some of this oil painting.
Flesh tones, isn't it, Ted? It's you and your flesh tones.
Yeah.
You couldn't get the cowgirl, could you?
I couldn't get the cowgirl.
No. We weren't allowed to get the cowgirl, let's be honest.
I couldn't have come home with the cowgirl.
No.
So, yeah, go out and get something easy to do that doesn't have that many parts, that will come together quickly. Something even that you could do over the weekend.
And a kit. Or one of those Airfix Lego type things. That
I was just going to say, an Airfix starter kit, the ones that come with the little pots of paint on the top and a brush. Just throw one of them together and have a bit of fun with it.
I mean, I have to agree. There's 3 real reasons why I get stuck. One is it's an expensive kit and I have to do a good job because I've spent all the money on it, but I'm struggling with something and I lose my nerve. If you ever used to watch House, basically I get a case of the yips. I've got this kit that cost me X amount of money and I don't want to mess it up. And I'm getting the yips because I'm like, oh, what if I do that and it goes wrong? And then, so just step away from it. And like Ted says, go and do something simple. One of those little Airfix starter kits, the little Airfix ones that look like Lego for kids. Great fun. Just something you can switch off and build. The other thing is, you might be doing something on the kit that's super, super repetitive, like me with my full armor Unicorn Gundam with all the, that's been in a box now, it's come out and come back in again. Some kits have lots of repetitive parts. If you've got a model that has, say, in a Gundam, it might be something with 10 fin funnels, or it might be a tank with 1 million wheels or 5 billion pieces of track. Sometimes that can kill your mojo, so again, just take time out and just step back from it. And the other thing is, sometimes you can just get bored of a kit. It's true. You can look at a kit and think it's the most amazing thing and start building it. And either you can lose the will to live with it because you get bored of the subject, or you might have seen the next shiny thing, or bought the next, like me, like an idiot, bought the next shiny thing, and while you're building one kit, you're looking up at this box on the shelf with the shiny thing in it, you're thinking, I want to build that now. And sometimes when that happens, if you just lose interest in the kit, just put it back in the box. The one thing you never want to do is force yourself to work through it, because if you force yourself, you get frustrated, you get angry, you start doing little shortcuts, and then because you're cutting corners, then they don't work, and then you get more frustrated. It's the worst thing you can do. So if you're bored of the kit, put it back in the box and just go and start something else. If it's just that you're burnt out on it because it's repetitive or something like that, then just try something like a palette cleanser, something simple instead. But whatever you do, just don't try and force yourself through it, because you'll just bang your head against a wall, and it'll just get worse and worse, and you'll hate everybody, and you'll become a giant spike.
Yeah, and also you've got to remember that you don't have to build your model in the order that it's in the instruction book. You don't have to turn the page, do the next bit. You can skip on to something a little bit more interesting. The submarine, for instance, I could skip on next to do the engine room and build all the engine and grime it all up and things like that. You could do a little bit that you're looking forward to. What I'm not looking forward to is the hull on this submarine and drilling out all them freeing ports. Because they will be there forever. So
I did that on the 1/72nd scale. It's fun.
It's going to drive me crazy, I'm sure. But I think what I'll do a little bit tonight, then a little bit more in a couple of days' time. And so you're not just sat drilling holes continually, drilling file. Do it a little bit at a time. And I think also, I can't remember the guy's name now. He's just mentioned, I'll try and get back up to the chat. Tony Black said you can cue your mojo by putting a kit in front of you and watching some videos of somebody else building it. And you can think, yeah, I'll have a go.
Yeah. The other thing as well that you mentioned, Ted, and I think you just
some weathering. Have a go.
Sorry, Ted, you froze on us then, and I started talking over you. My apologies.
But that's it. Have a go at something different. If you want to have a go at some weathering, some streaking or something, some mud effects, have a go at that. Do it that way.
One of the things I was going to say is, to the point you mentioned about going and looking at other people's photographs and pictures of their work and stuff. I forgot one of the reasons you might get stuck is because you lose the creative mojo. You think, I want to make this thing look awesome, but I can't really figure out how to paint it and what colours to use. I get that all the time. Go and look at other people's work, if for no other reason than just to shamelessly rip it off. If you see the model you've got and you see somebody's built one and it looks fantastic and they've done a custom colour scheme on it, steal it. It doesn't matter unless you're building it for a show or building it as a commission. It doesn't matter. You're just building it for your collection. Steal it. Try and replicate it.
I think that's why people put them on anyway, so that you can copy what they do.
Yeah. All my best ideas come from other people. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, should I? I didn't say that.
That's what I do when you want to get a new model. Go on the tubes and see how somebody else has built it.
Hardest thing is coming up with custom colour scheme for Gunpla. I don't know why it's so hard. It just is. If in doubt, just put a stripe on it somewhere. It always looks good.
Anyway, moving on. There's another question. Matthew Drake says, question 1 for Ted. How far through the U-boat build are we? Are we? The royal we? Yes, some. I've nearly got the control room finished.
You've nearly got the first sprue empty.
The sprues, the empty sprues are piling up. So I've got through some bits and pieces, but that's exactly going back to the piece that we've just been talking about, the repetitiveness. There are a lot of detail parts in this control room, and it's just a matter of paint, glue stick, and then stick it and paint it. And there's lots of. Here's just one bulkhead. I don't know if is that in focus. Yeah.
Yeah, near enough.
Yeah,
I've got the screen really small now, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you though, I look much better when I'm really small. It's great.
Yeah. So there we go. Try and get. Could see me through there. Hello.
I like the hospital paint job.
Yeah.
green stripe and a white wall.
Yeah. So that's that. There's all these little bits down here. Some loose bits on there. There's all the bits in there that have glued on as well.
Looks like a circuit board, like an old valve circuit board.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, you can run your telly off that if you look at it that way. You can
you've got your little rocket record player going with that inside it.
So do that. I'm going to put the video together hopefully towards the end of this week. I have a couple of ideas of what I'm going to put in it, so it's not going to be a repetitive, boring. And then from there, I plan to do some video diaries so we can get the build going faster. I think we mentioned that last week as well. Yeah. So that's how we do it. And the second part of the question was, how come you refrain from talking about the Diag Falcon?
It's illegal. We don't. It's an in joke because started building it and filmed 6 episodes and then just stopped.
Loss of mojo, move on to
Yeah,
something
but
else.
I gained like 5,000 YouTube subscribers and then I stopped.
Yeah.
Purely because my desk isn't big enough, and I got to that point and I was like, I have to stop now until I get like a warehouse I can work in. So it's kind of an in-joke amongst my followers and Treehouse followers and Boom Up followers that I got everybody lured in with the Falcon and then just stopped after 6 episodes.
It's just become a bit of an in-joke. So.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to talk about the Agostini Falcon. I can talk on it for hours as long as I'm not going past the cockpit part because I didn't build it myself. Yeah.
One day, Fox, it will be built.
Yes, there was a question I just spotted from Paul Davey. Best desert mud for wheel arches. Great info as always, fellows. Can I give my suggestion that I did on my transit van? I don't know if yours would be the same. What I did on my transit van was I got some matte varnish, which is, I just used, doesn't matter what varnish, doesn't matter what varnish, but I had some Ammo by Meg matte varnish, and I had some, and I can't reach it, weathering powders. And if you're looking for that kind of wet, muddy look, or a lumpy, earthen look, you could use gloss varnish if you want to look wet. But what I did was I basically, with a brush, painted the inside of the wheel arch quite thickly with matte varnish.
These things?
Yep. Then I got my pigments on an old brush, and I got loads of powder on the pigment, and I just went inside the wheel arch like that, and just piled it on. Left it for half an hour, and when I came back, I knocked all the excess off. And because you coated it in the matte varnish, a lot of that pigment just sticks, but because it's piled onto the matte varnish, it keeps that kind of lumpy, powdery, cloddy look. And that's perfect for dry mud and dirt. And you can use different colour pigments. So I used, I think, Dark Earth, Ammo by Meg Dark Earth, which looks like soil. But you could use some of their sandy or desert colours. Exactly the same principle. If you want it to look like wet mud, you could coat the wheel arch with gloss varnish. Just brush your gloss varnish on and do the same. Don't spray the gloss varnish on. It needs to be a really thick coat so that the pigment can really get into the layer of varnish and bed down, and then the varnish will seep through the rest of the pigment. If you do a thin coat with an airbrush, it's just not going to stick. But really just basically a varnish of some sort, really thickly put on, powders, munge them in, leave it, and then when you're finished, if you want to, you can go over it with the matte or gloss coat. But that's the easiest way. Rather than mixing plaster and things in liquids, just use powders and a brush and some varnish. But brush the varnish on.
Yeah, I'll build it up. Yeah. Build it up. But
what did you do on your Oshkosh, Ted?
Well, actually, I didn't sort of cake it in mud. I sort of brushed it on and give it a. Sorry, I just said a comment on there. It's just thrown me a little bit. Peter's commented. Hello, Peter.
Oh, hang on. I need to read that.
Yeah.
Where was it? I've missed it.
It's just down from. It's just a few lines.
Oh, there we go. Hello, guys, and a big hello to Ted and Fox. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Peter. We've got the jackets on.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, look.
I'm wearing it, boss. I'm wearing it.
I'm going to spin it. I would spin around, but I'll just unplug everything.
Yes.
Do my time back up.
I'm not sweating a lot, but I've lost about 3.5 pounds so far. So
Yeah.
I'm sacrificing. I'll do it for the art.
Yeah.
Does Peter have a question for us?
Throw me that. Yeah, the Oshkosh.
Oh, it's always worrying when the boss chips in. You're like,
oh yeah, he's watching. The Oshkosh. I didn't do caked mud. I just sort of did a dusty effect.
Didn't you mix something into your? Didn't you get one of like the liquid weather thing rather than the powder and mix something into it, like plaster or chalk or something? I can't remember. I'm sure you did.
No, not on this one. I don't think.
I'm making that up, aren't I?
Yeah, you're making it up.
I'm totally making it up.
Yeah, have you been watching other people's channels?
Yeah, well, I was watching Scale Model Medic. That's where I got the idea for mixing in the matte varnish and the powders.
I just give it a brush, which is just basically the same as what you did. I give it a spray with varnish and then just get.
If I can reach it without destroying the entire, I can't reach it. Yeah, the pigments, the ammo pigments, and probably other ones as well. They're one called Dark Earth. It looks like you've got a small pot of soil. It's perfect. It just has this wonderful soil look. As soon as you varnish over it, it becomes a powder. But if you can somehow lock it in place, it just has that soil look. I use it all the time.
They do pigment fixers, but yeah, pigment fixers are out there. But
yeah, I find it with the matte varnish is better because it just munges together with the varnish, and some of it stays powdery, and some of it goes liquidy, so you get a kind of powdery bits and splatty bits where like it's been mud spread across the surface. So you get that nice combination. You don't get that if you just fix the powder.
So, yeah, that's it. I would go, and I think somebody entered on there. Scott Thusland says Mig Ammo channel on YouTube has lots of videos on mud and things like that.
Thusland, you said, and YouTube.
Sutherland.
We now officially call it YouTube. YouTube.
So go over, have a look, and as we know, eModels stock all the stuff, and that's it.
Yeah, Tony Black says he used the old school method of talc mixed with paint, which is just as good.
Yeah.
Talc for the texture and paint for the colour, obviously.
Yeah, brilliant. Now the chat's moving quite quickly again. I did see another one. Robert Blaylock.
Just very quickly, Frankie Goes to Hobbywood gets the award for the best name in the chat.
Robert Blaylock. Help seeking a hyper-realistic leather upholstery look, including headliner. Ideas?
Yeah, I saw that one. I was kind of hoping you would notice that one.
Yeah, I was just, moving on. Next question.
That one is challenging because you can get a super realistic leather look just by dry brushing if the piece you're painting has leather texture built into it. The difficulty is if it's just a flat piece of plastic. I don't know.
Depends what scale it is. 1/32nd, 1/35th scale. I don't actually really going to see any sort of texture in the leather at that sort of scale.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a 1/6 sports car, then you probably see something. But
yeah,
that's one of those things I've never quite figured out. I can get a sort of leather look on a belt or a strap or something like that just by shading different levels of brown, but for actual leather, you probably want to. I have no experience in it, but you could probably Google around for people that make large, as in small scale, large historical figures, like what's the word I'm thinking for? Blokes on horseback with the big hats and the spears and the
hussars.
That's the one. Because people that make those kind of kits will often have to do things like leather, so like saddles and things. So it might be worth Googling sort of historical military modelling.
Yeah,
it's outside my experience anyway.
Yeah, I've got to have a look at some of the guys' modelling sites that do cars and things, and they'll surely they'll be able to help you. But I can't recall seeing anything about that would actually reproduce it, because as you know from your car detailing days, the real sort of leather, it's not textured, it's not lumpy as such, it's just a colour, isn't it?
Well, it depends on the leather. Some is and some isn't. It got to the point where I was actually going around leather showrooms to find leather to do things, but and I learned quite a bit about leather that I've since forgotten. I didn't know how much there is to know about leather, but there is. But it really depends on what the leather's being used for. Like saddle leather on a saddle is smooth and shiny, and you can paint that quite well with oil paints. But some seat leather is quite rough, and so a belt will be quite smooth, but suede, which is sort of a kind of leather, that's very rough. So it really depends on what you're actually modelling. If it's a car, it's probably going to have a texture to it, because if you buy leather seats in a car, you want them to be leather seats so you can tell they're leather seats, so you probably wouldn't get smooth ones because they look like vinyl. So there would be some texture to it, but
another way is you could just paint the plastic, paint it a leather colour, then spray it with that stuff you get from the supermarket. That is the real leather air freshener.
Don't use the new car smell.
Yeah,
I think if you're going to look for, if you're not too bothered about the texture, but like say you're trying to do, say, let's say you go for that classic green leather you might get in a vintage sports car, that kind of, the proper racing green leather seats like you get on a wingback chair kind of stuff. That's all something you could perhaps do blending with oil paints, but put a really nice glossy coat on it. But again, it's outside my world of experience, unfortunately, so I'm not too sure.
I can't think of anything else. Sorry, I'm just looking something up. I'm just checking something out on eModels.
Chris Williams has just typed for some reason eModels Mankini, and now there's too many images in my head. Ted, you're on your own now. You've got to carry on the screen without me. No, I don't think I could do a Mankini. Not in the winter anyway. Yeah, ever. Northwest Modeler says there is a way to make leather on scale cars. We'll await the rest of that revealing statement there. There is an answer. Okay, what's the answer? I think he carries on in the comments though.
All right.
Northwest Modeler says, I think Peter the boss is ace. He should be nice and give us jackets. No. No.
Yeah, we had to beg. We had to send stroop waffles by the gallon, by the hundreds.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
Somebody in the comments explained to whoever it was that asked what stroop waffles are. Or somebody actually explained what stroop waffles are. I didn't notice in the comments.
I think TK answered that one a little while ago, saying that he had the market on them.
Okay. Now, didn't you have a couple of questions by emails?
We did. I was just.
I think Chris may have sent you one, or somebody, one of my regulars may have sent you one. I dread to think. It said it was a silly one, not model making related, so I dread to think what it was.
Right. I've received quite a few emails since the stream started.
Oh, right. Oh, my life.
I shall tell you about them later. Right. Let's find the email.
Okay. Well, while you do that, I'll quickly show what I've been working on.
Yep.
Because we know what you've been working on. This week, because I'm not starting the Eagle Transporter for eModels. I don't know where the logo will be. Next week, I'm starting that on Monday. Starting the build, starting the film. So I've got a week, and I had a choice. I could either sit around and play Destiny all week, which was really, really tempting, or I could just use that time while I got my workbench free to make something. So I'm making a little Warhammer thing. I'm making a little land speeder Storm. So I've just been doing the painting today and filming that.
That was good, military green.
Yeah, the downside is I get 6 dudes with it, and they're all really angry-looking dudes. They're all like, "Argh!" And I'm no good at painting figures, but I had this image in my head that all the guys in the land speeder are like this. They're all like, "Ah!" So I'm thinking, are they like that the moment they get into it? So even just when they're backing out the driveway, or they're just going to the shops, as soon as they get into the land speeder, they're just like, "Ah!" And then when they get out, they're just normal. So I've been working on that. I was trying today. I tried airbrushing this in gel paints, and it came out quite well. But I was trying using a pre-shade. Instead of pre-shading with lots of lines, I just basically primed the whole thing black using the UMP black primer, which is fantastic. And then lightly went over with the green colour. You won't really come out on camera, but went over with the green colour. So yeah, so that lots of the black is still visible. And what I realised was, I did it light enough that this colour is actually bears no relation to the colour that's in the pot, because a little bit I brushed on, and it was a completely different colour. So I'm just playing with the do the whole thing black first and then paint it, rather than just do all the pre-shaded lines. Now I think that ties into one of your questions. I think
it does actually. It's a question I've got up here from Chris Williams.
Yes.
It says, "Hello, question about painting." I'm going to try and get my pronunciation right.
I'm sure you told me it was a dumb question, but I'm disappointed now. But
no, that was that other one. I deleted that one.
All right.
How do you know what colour to prime? I did black under white to give some pre-shading, or we thought he did, but it just took loads of white to make it look good. Is it dark primer for dark pieces, light for light pieces? And what is pre-shading anyway? And the show tonight will be as good as always. Catch you later in the chat. So Chris will be around here somewhere with us.
Chris is with us, I think.
Chris, first of all, I would say if you're painting something white, try not to do a dark undercoat. Try not to do a dark primer with it. Use a light colour primer, even a grey, probably be the darkest I'd go, or as we discussed I think many streams back, even a white primer with just a tint of red, just so that you could see where you've been.
Especially if you kit, I've got to prime that Eagle. It's white plastic and the kit's white when you paint it. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So I think a hint that we came up with a few weeks ago was just if you tint your white primer, just put a tiny touch of red in it, and it'll give it an ever so slight sheen of pink. And that way you'll see where your white top coat goes. And then on top of your white primer, then pre-shade your panel lines. Pre-shading is just a way of highlighting your panel lines to give it that first sort of layer of weathering. So you're sort of reproducing the darkness that panel lines, especially in aircraft, would pick up and sort of become discoloured. But the secret to doing it is to, when you're putting your base coat on, your top coat, your final colour, is just to tick it. Don't colour it all, just to tick it in fine coats until just before those lines disappear, and then you've got it. An extra coat and they're gone, but just take it a light coat at a time. So that's that one. So yeah, that's what appreciate is for.
Just to add to that, when Ted's saying about depreciating lines, if unlike me, I mean, you can paint the whole thing black. That's what ILM used to do when they made the Star Wars models. But if you want that nice shaded line, sort of lines, so you've got panels on a ship like that, and you want those sort of shadows where the lines are, that's why you paint the lines in. Like Ted says, build it up in very thin layers so you can see the lines gradually fade. Once you've got it to almost disappearing, you'll probably find that it's still not quite the bright enough colour that you want. Say you're doing it white, that's where you can get the technical then. If you want to, what you can do is, instead of doing one more coat like Ted says that will make it disappear, you can do one more coat, but just focus it on the insides of the panels. So say you've got a panel like that, and you've put pre-shade lines around it, and you've sprayed over it with your white, and it's just visible. What you could do then is concentrate your paint there, and do a few more very light coats, just use circular motions of the airbrush, and it will just bulk out the colour in the middle of the panel so it goes brighter and brighter, but it will keep paint away from the edges so you can still see those panel lines. You don't have to do that, but it's a good way of getting a contrast between the middle of the panel and the edge of the panel, especially with like light colours and whites and things. It just gives that real nice oomph, so you get some nice white hot spots here and there, but in other areas you get the darkness where the panel line is. It's quite tricky, but it's good fun once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, and it just looked good. Yeah, I did it on my Typhoon. Yeah, I'm looking for the Typhoon model. It's upstairs. It's upstairs on the bench, on the living room cabinet. Right. Next question. Let's go back to the next question from Vincent. Vincent de Kemp. He says he won't unleash a torrent of questions like last week.
I don't think we actually answered all his questions anyway.
Yeah, I'll have to find one, the ones we didn't answer. But this should be a quick one for us. Is taking part in the egg build over on the Boom Hut. We're doing an egg build competition, which means that you can build. It's not so much a competition; it's a group build with just a couple of silly prizes at the end of it. It's another paint question, really. It'll be spring colour from now. Now that 90% of the priming is done. Colour means Tamiya or Mr. Hobby paints, which he believes are comparable. Yep. If they're both acrylics, yep, they'll be comparable. Can the aqueous Mr. Hobby colour be thinned with Tamiya X20 thinner, or do I grab my Viero stuff? And then how do you get into the airbrush cup? Get it into the airbrush cup. I was thinking pipettes, but that would mean ruining several ones each session, and pouring it from the jar seems a messy way to do it.
I can definitely answer the one about how to pour it from a silly jar shape.
Yeah.
But we'll do the bit first.
Go on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was being polite and letting you do your bit. Well, me and Ted were talking about this before we went live. And if you're talking about the aqueous Mr. Hobby, then it's a water-based paint. So I can thin Citadel paints with Tamiya X20A, and they're water-based. I can also thin them with the UMP thinner as well. I don't see why not, although sometimes water-based paints can get a bit funky when you use an alcohol-based thinner. So what I would do, because if it's a water-based paint, you can just thin it with water. The problem with thinning these paints with water is that the paint behaves differently in water than it does in, say, alcohol or other thinners. If I take, say, a water-based paint like Citadel and mix it into Tamiya X20A or the UMP thinner, the thinner helps the paint stay kind of flowy, so it doesn't all settle out quite as easily, and it maintains its strength of colour. If you thin it with water, it will work, but the paint will settle out faster because the water isn't so much a binding agent. Basically what the water will do is dilute down the thing that binds all the particles of paint together, so the paint can settle out faster, and you can end up with very watery paint that doesn't flow very well. It's a bit runny and horrible. So I would try it with water, to be honest, but if not, give it a try with the X20A. If that doesn't work, then, like we said before, the UMP thinner, it's really good. eModels stock it as well, as they do the X20A. The X20A is kind of specific for Tamiya paints, but works on others, whereas this is designed for any paint. This will thin any kind of acrylic water-based paint, or even Tamiya paints.
Yep.
It's really good stuff. It's just alcohol based.
If I
But
could
yeah,
just
give it a try, but it should be similar. The only thing I'd say is Tamiya paints are 50-50 typically to get them through an airbrush. I don't think that aqueous hobby colour are quite so thick, so you might not need as much.
Yeah, as in Smooth's workshop, says he uses X20 on his aqueous and it works fine.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people just use bog standard, what the Americans would call rubbing alcohol, or we call isopropyl alcohol, or 99% rubbing alcohol. A lot of people just use it as thinners for water-based paint, so it should be fine. But try it out first. As for how to pour it, what I find is, if you've got like a Tamiya pot, or a Mr. Hobby pot, and you've got your airbrush cup, just use, I've got some of these clay sculpting tools, but a cocktail stick, a skewer, anything that's thin and maybe got a point on the end. All you do is you get your pot of paint. Let's pretend oh, that had something in it. Let's pretend that's a pot of paint. All you do, put that into your cup, so your cup's there, get your pot of paint and pour it along that, and it will run down and into the cup. If you just pour it out from the pot and go like that, it'll go down the pot and onto your hand and onto the table, and everybody will get out shouty at you. But just get something like a stick or a cocktail stick or a skewer or this, and just pour it onto that, and it will go into your paint cup.
Yeah. I've got a
lot less hassle than pipettes, which are a pain to clean out.
I do have some pipettes. I've got loads of them, and I think somebody mentioned that they are dead cheap, dirt cheap off.
Yeah, they're ridiculously. I just burped. I do apologise. They are ridiculously cheap, but it's just as quick to get a stick and go like that. To be honest, I used to use them, but I kept losing them.
Another thing I do, like you, I have these stirrers which are available from all good coffee shops.
Free of charge.
Provide you ask the manager if you can have some. If
then let's reinforce that. You must ask them to take hundreds of them.
And I just use them by dipping it in the pot, sort of filling it, and then just dropping it in the cup. I do it that way because you don't, when you're airbrushing, you probably don't need that much paint anyway. By the time you get some in there, it's going to cover quite a lot of work. But yeah, that's about what we do. That's how it's done. So that's that one. Right, I think that's. We've got a question that's coming tonight from Jamie Bourne, sent from his Windows 10 phone. Very posh. Hi Ted, I'm asking to find out how much weathering on an F1 car from the 1970s would receive.
Oh, tell me it's the Tyrrell six-wheeler. That'd be awesome. That's the only F1 car I know from the 70s.
If I didn't know, would Fox know? Now I'm thinking that these things are kept pretty pristine for the start of the race because they polish them, because they go faster if they're polished. And I would think that the only sort of weathering that would occur on them, or if they've been around the track hundreds of times, if hundreds of seen to on BBC One, is they would just pick up some dirt, grime, and oil stains, sort of at the rear, really. But generally, I wouldn't have thought they'd have taken up that much weathering. The tyres would take a real hammering. They would sort of start falling apart. Chips, cuts and bulges in them. Yeah, so that's about it. I wouldn't have thought they would take that much weathering. But most models, when most people build F1 cars for they're building them for display, and they're usually depicted as pristine. Unless you have any thoughts?
No, I tend to agree. You might get. See, the only real weathering you're going to get on a Formula One car is really underneath and right at the very front, and that's going to be like scraping and chipping. But you're not going to see that because unless your model's upside down. I mean, there might be some weathering throughout the course of a race, but it's like maybe a little bit of mud splat and grass on the wheels and on the side where it goes over the grass thing. I've never seen a weathered Formula One car, I must admit. In terms of model making, they tend to be made as pristine. I would say if you've got the skill to make a Formula One car, I would make it as nice as you can, because I would not even begin to attempt to make a Formula One car or anything like that, because it's well beyond my skill set. So if you're able to make a Formula One car, yeah, make it look as nice as you can, because they're very, very impressive. I think adding weathering, there are some things that don't look good with weathering. Unicorn Gundam Formula One cars, I think it would look better without weathering, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe a little tiny bit of maybe dry brushing, say a metallic silvery colour around maybe the wheel nuts, where they're going to be constantly taking the wheels off and stuff. Other than that, I wouldn't really bother. I don't think.
Yeah, a bit of wear and tear on the tyres, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would perhaps, if it comes with the big flat tyres, like no grip, no tread, because it's a 70s one. Maybe you could do a little bit of sanding on the road contact part of the tyres, not to roughen it up, but just to. If you look at the rubber tyre, it'll be like a dark black colour on the rims when you get the model. But if you very, very lightly sand the actual road contact part, it'll go a lighter grey, and you'll get that contrast between the sides and the flat bit. But not to roughen it up, just to discolour it and lighten it a little bit. Like a fine sandpaper.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Go and have a look at Google at some Formula One cars, and there'll be millions of pictures, and they'll show you in sort of all sort of states of sort of races, pre-race, post-race, and such. Yeah, go and have a look around. Have a look at some pictures and see how the real thing's done. Moving on to last week's question, Vincent reminded us what it was. It was left. The question we left open last week was about weathering ships in general. We're talking about big 1/350 scale type ships, or in his case, the 2199 Yamamoto. Ships weathering.
That's your wheelhouse now, Ted.
Yeah. Weathering. I actually looked at the boat that I work on today that works on Windermere, and it's done sort of a winter season just up and down the lake, which isn't, it's just a freshwater lake. It's not salty or anything like that, so it won't sort of take on salt damage and chipping and things like that. But even that was looking a little bit tired and beginning to form. I'm just sort of trying to think how to explain it. You'll find that a ship will develop rust streaks from where water naturally runs down the side of it. It will also pick up chips and stuff. I'm just waffling here.
Just to rescue you there very brief, because I got distracted watching all the comments. One thing I learned from when I was doing the U-boat, and I was studying the U-boat documents that you got as well, is that one mistake a lot of people make is they weather below the waterline.
No, it stops at the waterline.
Yeah, the whole point is above the waterline you've got air and you've got water, and therefore you get corrosion and rust streaking. Below the waterline, it's just water. So there's not so much rusting because the air can't get to it. But what you can do is paint what's called a scum line right where the waterline is. And that's just a very faint green line that's an average of where the water is. So if you want to get a really realistic kick, don't have rust and streak below the waterline unless it's sat in dry dock for months and months. If it's freshly painted and goes into the sea, you're not going to get much weathering under the water apart from chipping. But have a green scum line to demark between the weathered and the not weathered bit, or the rusted and not rusted. Handy little tip there for you.
Yeah, what you will find is, I just mentioned that point about the green line. That green line will also appear on anti-fouling. Anti-fouling is a paint that's designed to keep algae and such off the ship, but it will still develop a very thin green slime around the ship. Scum. You get like when we've had a bath once a month, that it leaves that scum around the bath.
Wow, that often?
Yeah, once a month.
It's like being back at school and everything.
Have a bath once a month, whether you need it or not. And you'll find that natural places of wear and tear, such as anchor hawser pipes, where chains will drag against the hull. You'll also find it at rope bollards around the ship, where the bollards are. You'll find that where the ropes will rub off paint, and that will develop rusty streaks under that. And you'll find that the weathering, the rust streaks, will be more a colour than an actual rust. It'll be like streaking.
You know what I've seen, Ted, and I don't know if you can tell me if I'm right. I'm sure I've seen. You know, there's the bollards, and I can't remember what they're called. The bit where you tie the boat off on the dock, and you get them on the boat. I'm sure I've seen at some point where you've got that, and the ropes around the bollard thing is actually clean and shiny because the rope
the ropes
rubs off all. Yeah, so the top can be rusty, but the actual bit where the rope goes can be nice and shiny, like brand new metal.
If I think on tomorrow, what I'll do, I'll take some pictures. Oh no, I'm not at work tomorrow. That's a good reason not to. When I'm back at work, I'll take some pictures of the bollards, both on the shore and on the boat, and I'll actually sort of take a few pictures around the boat to show natural places of weathering and things where it is for the real thing. Once again, as we mentioned about the guy for his F1 car, go and have a look at some pictures of
the real thing.
The real thing,
yeah.
Because you will find, because sailors have lots of time to do nothing, they're usually idle hands. You make work for idle hands. They're always painting and chipping. Most ships, especially if they're not fighting, if it's not the middle of World War II, will take a coat of painting and chipping, apart from the bits where they can't reach.
Jeff Longman says, since the Yamato launches straight up from underground in the early episodes, why not chipping? Oh, wait, the topic is actual ships.
Well, I'm taking it, yeah. I'm taking it being that. Yeah, so that's right. Have a look. You will find some things like you'll go and have a look at pictures of the turpits and it will be pristine. And then 6 months later, when it's come back from patrol, it'll be battered. And you'll see where the natural runs of the paint of the rust are, but you won't find the ship is chipped. It's more streaky.
Yeah. When I was doing my U-boat, I took great pride in when I was doing rust streaks. I do rust streaks, and I painted my scum line on. So what I do was I do a rust streak, and then I kind of paint the rust streak down, and then make it flatten out around about the water line to suggest that that's as far as the rust streak gets, because beyond that it's just water. So you can have some good fun if you want a really good time weathering it. Get yourself some little bits of balsa wood, make a dry dock, and build it as if it's in dry dock, because then you can say it's been there for months, and you can rust the whole thing. You can put weathering all over it. Yep. There you go.
There you go. Right. I think that's that one all buttoned up now. Hopefully, I do.
Arbor Pendragon says, "Nice tie, Ted."
Yeah, of course it is. It's one of the. You've got to dress smartly when the boss is around. Yes. Right. Okay.
David Barker says that's his plan for Tank Fest, Ted. Take loads of close-up pics of weathering and rust on tanks.
Yeah, David, you don't have to wait for Tank Fest. Go down your local building site, go down to Roadworks and have a look at some of the plant that's being used.
JCBs and things like that.
See what it is. You don't have to wait for Tank Fest.
Yeah, I'll tell you the one thing I've learned was when you start doing weathered models, you learn to look around you in real life and everything that's weathered. So I'll be stood there at work sometimes and I'd be like, a delivery van would turn up, I'd be like, oh, I'm taking pictures, look at that weathering on there. And there was one van that turned up and it had a grime streak going down the back shutter door, but the streak was at an angle like that. And I thought, if I painted that on a model, everybody'd be like, what's that? It's a stupid angle. I'm like, see, it happens in real life. But the one thing I learned doing that is that if you want to make a good rust effect, paint your vehicle yellow, because rust never looks better than when it's on a yellow vehicle. I don't know why, like JCBs, it just looks fantastic. The brown and the yellow just work really well together. So there you go. Does anybody have yellow tanks in their armies? I don't think they do they?
No.
The armies are rubbish. They're all green and grey.
I have noticed that most builders' transit vans, going back to the battered old tranny, most builders, especially the high top ones, they're all pot marks at the front, aren't they? Just above the windscreen. They're all pot marked and rusty and running. Yeah, brilliant. David Barker says Tank Fest is better because tanks and beer. Yeah.
Yes. But what I meant to say was that next time you paint a streak on a vehicle and it's not horizontal or vertical, don't panic. You can just say, I've seen it in real life. There you go. Fox told me you can get streaks that go at funny angles. So this van had obviously been parked like that and the streak had gone like that. So there you go. Everything is explainable. Yeah,
that's it. Right. Question. Should we go and have a look at what's in the store?
Yeah, let's go see what's in the store.
Let's have a look what's in the store. Right.
Yeah, what's in the store, Ted?
I'll try and share my screen.
Mr. Loth's model making says Dunkelgelb. Yeah, but which one?
Is that the right shade of Dunkelgelb for that?
I don't know. You say something about the right shade.
Right, I've shared screen.
Dunkelgelb.
Sharing.
Oh, I need to swip to you, don't I? There we go. It's locked on you now.
I'm not screen sharing.
It's locked up.
That's you.
You're sharing me. There we go.
Right. Here we go. New in store this week is. Oh, we'll show you the first one first. No, that one.
Hello.
No, that one. Oh, it's gone. I've lost it. I'll find the other one in a minute. New in store this week is the mouse. This is the V2. Now then, there's not a lot of models of the mouse about, strangely, for some particular reason. I think many years ago, Dragon produced one, but that's now, I believe, out of production. But this one has been released by Tacom. Now, if you guys out there have been watching Tony's Chieftain tank build,
that looks really nice.
And that is a fantastic kit that's gone together for Tony really well. And there's been, he's been really sort of getting into the build and he's enjoyed it immensely. Now, this is from the same company. This is Tacom. And I think even in 135, the real thing was huge. So this is going to be quite an impressive tank, even in that scale. So there's a version 1. I'm going to try and find it. If I go to this one, see how easy the site is to search. Mouse. No, try on a different keyboard.
See how easy the site is to search, and then Ted's keyboard throws a wobbly.
Mouse tank version. Mouse tank. There we go. The site, find it. There we are. There's version 1. So you can build 2 versions of it.
Yeah.
There's that one.
Somebody said in the comments it didn't look like a real tank, and it actually was a real tank. It was just never actually got to the point of production. It was something the Germans were thinking about building, but it never got that far because, I don't know, somebody won the war, I guess, but somebody stopped them building things. But it was a concept tank they never quite got around to doing. So
yeah, and as I say, this my son was actually been looking for this particular model for quite a while, and we went to Telford hoping that we could pick one up, but there just wasn't any available because it's strange that nobody seemed to be making them. But yeah, now we have a Tacom who are building the version 1 and the version 2, so you can get both. Yeah,
Ted, before you go to the next one, Northwest Modeler does says, more planes and cars, please. Have we got any planes and cars on this week?
I'll find some.
Do we plan any? We'll find some.
I'll find some. When we come back, we'll come back to the screen and then I'll come back and find some more. Yeah,
people are saying that I was saying that I can do typing while you're busy, and people are saying they can hear me typing. There's just like some kind of Inception thing going on there.
It's like one of those call centres, isn't it? They used to work at. Yeah. Hang on, I'll just put your.
Thank you for calling Cyberdyne Tech Corp. I really value your call. I'm not reading from a script.
This one. It's a magazine very similar to the. Airhole.
Oh, we lost you. We lost you there, Ted. Very similar to we got.
Very similar to the MiG weathering magazines. This one is produced by Fernando Vallejo.
Almost like they're in competition with each other, isn't it?
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah. I wonder if they collaborated this, but yeah, it's how to weather stuff. So have a look. Yeah, it's look at the price, $5.39, and there's lots of. If I flick some of the screens up, yeah, that's an amazing weathering project on the forklift truck. Spaceships, Fox, spaceships.
Oh, hello, I'm awake again. What? I was typing, sorry, what?
Spaceships.
It's a snow speeder. T-47 snow speeder. They've been adapting them for the cold, you know.
Yeah, so there's that one as well.
Cool. Is this the weathering magazine, isn't it? I would tell you was not paying attention to what you were showing at all, and I really was just doing the chat. Is this the damage magazine? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's the one that we discussed before, was quite similar to the MiG magazine by Yahoo. Obviously using all their products and hints and tips and lots of stuff inside it.
Yeah.
Some concept, some steampunk type stuff.
Or even just Steam in that case.
Just Steam, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I wish I could do stuff like that. More cars.
Cars, there you go.
There you go. There's some
Mad
cars.
Max.
Yeah.
Bit of Mad Max going. I do like that model. I've seen it before, that picture of that model, and that's like, oh. And not that I have any particular vested interest in Mad Max, but just the weathering on that model is like, oh, I wish I could do that.
Excellent. Look, down here, showing what people often ask about is how to do sort of windscreen sort of wipe effects on the windscreen. So that's all contained in this magazine. Yeah, flesh tones. Could be.
Oh, hello. Did you wake up when it got to flesh tones?
Yeah. Moving on.
I'm going to look at that picture in the top right there. Ooh, look at that little Russian Jeep.
Yeah, there we go. More vehicles. Yeah, sort of. It looks like it's this magazine. I haven't had a chance to read, sort of zoom in and read what it's all about yet. But it looks like this magazine's got everything covered, and using all the sort of different products out there. It looks like he's not just specifically looking at this here. It looks like he's not just specifically staying on Vallejo products. There's MIG, AK, Tamiya. So worth getting.
So basically, if you're familiar with the weathering magazine from Ammo, it's basically the same kind of thing, but you'll probably find there'll be different tips and different. Obviously, if you've got the Vallejo products, because there's no harm in having both, because you might learn things from one you won't see in the other. Everybody has different techniques, so it's always worth learning. Everybody's learning. We're always learning.
These as I said before, these things are always great to have on your shelf, just because you can pick them off. You don't have to log into your computer. You don't have to flick backwards and forwards through pages, trying to find the right thing, or scrolling up and down and that. But yeah, it's all there. So have a look at that one. And amazing price of £5.39. Right, I'll come back to you, Fox, and then I'll find some stuff on cars.
Okay. So coming back to me, are we?
Where are you?
I'm here. I'm back now. I've pressed a button. Right. Well, I've obviously prepared lots of things to talk about.
Right.
Let's have a look. I'm having a look in the comments.
I'll go find some stuff.
Do we have a giveaway this week for the stuff? We haven't got any stickers, have we?
We haven't got any stickers. I've run out of stickers. There should be some new ones on the way.
Have we got a mug giveaway going this week?
We will have a mug giveaway.
Yes. Have we planned a question, or are we going to wing it?
Wing it like we always do.
Wing it like you mean it.
While I'm looking on the eModels site,
on the
YouTube site, I'll find some things to talk about. I'll find some things to ask.
Let's have a look. What we got going on in the Robert Aitken says, morning from New Zealand. Just a quick query about pre-shading. I'm thinking of airbrushing the hull of the Corvette with some pre-shading before the final painting. What are your thoughts? Yes. By Corvette, I'm assuming it's the ship, not the car. The word hull kind of gave it away. Yeah, if you've got the option of pre-shading, absolutely do it. Sometimes it can be more hassle than it's worth. Sometimes, if you're really not in the mood to do it, I find it's a case of paint it all black first and then do your base coats. Because if you're not in the mood to do pre-shading, you won't do a good job of it. So, but yes, absolutely pre-shading. If it's a big enough model, if it's a tiny little thing, it's not worth it, because you're not going to see it at that scale. But if it's a big enough model, reasonable size, say 1/72 or bigger, absolutely, because there's no reason to not do something that makes your model look even better. Let's just put it that way. If you're making a museum style display model, then you don't need to worry about that. But if you're making something that looks lived in, definitely you want to do some kind of pre-shading, and either pre-shading, or if you're particularly daring, some post-shading, which is where you add the shading afterwards using slightly darker colours than your base colours with an airbrush. That's kind of a ballsy thing to do, though. It takes some skill to do that, so I'd probably say, unless you've done it before, stick to pre-shading. Always makes it look better. There's never a reason not to do something that makes your model look better. What have we got? Let's have a look. Chris Williams says, I don't know what the context was, but he thinks it may be a shrimp. I don't know what the context was.
Fraser Duncan says, are we going to wash the mug before we post it? We only ever have one mug, and you get the one we're drinking out of, and then when the next person wins it, you pass it on to them.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Jeff Longman says he polishes his shrimp before he races them. Again, I have no context for this comment, so I don't know. There you go. Where are we? Frankie Goes to Hobbywood, awesome name. Says very good tips for painting. He's trying to paint a 187 scale kit, an 87 scale kit with cans for a group build. Is that a tabletop wargaming scale if it's a tank or something? 187 scale.
Cars.
It's a weird scale. That must be a tabletop scale.
Oh, let's have a look at some cars.
Oh, have you got some cars? Yes.
I've got some cars.
I'm paddling. I'm doggy paddling now. So.
Yeah, I thought you were flagging a bit there. Let's just screen share again.
Thing is, oh, there you go. I get carried away reading the comments, and then I forget I'm actually reading the comments.
Right, yeah. I'm just what I did. Come to the website and just clicked on.
You just typed in cars, didn't you?
Plastic model kits. Then car model building kits, and we have a huge selection. There's a John Player Special. The Hasegawa 120 Lotus. That was a nice car. I remember that racing in the day. Was it Emerson Fittipaldi and I can't remember his teammate, Clark? I think that was it.
I don't know. I know nothing of such things. When I was a kid, I watched the occasional Formula One just to watch Nakajima crash into the wall every time, and that was it.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember being a kid having a model of this, but it was a huge die-cast model, which probably would have been about a 1/20th scale. It was huge.
I think everybody had a toy version of or model version of the 79 the Lotus at some point in their life, if they grew up in the 70s.
This is the 1978 Grand Prix winner. It's looking like this is showing pictures of the model, so obviously all the bodywork comes off, detailing the engine.
I've got to tell you, people that can make these things, I salute people that do shiny models, but people that can do shiny Formula One cars or motorbikes, I don't have those skills. If I tried it, it would just be a complete mess.
Fraser Duncan says he's building this one now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You send us some pictures of it, Fraser. Let's have a look how you're progressing with that. I'd love to see it. But yeah, the detail in that. Has it got all this detail in it, Fraser?
I guess it probably has, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking it has.
Just as a quick aside, Frankie Goes to Hobbywood says his 187 scale kit is a breakdance fair ride by manufacturer Fowler. So he's obviously doing like diorama, fairground diorama.
Oh. Yeah.
Mr. Lots Model Making says it's Andretti, Ted, I think.
Mario Andretti? Yeah, but no, he had Emerson Fittipaldi. Certainly drove this car, or certainly drove for John Player Special. Hang on, I'm looking at this. This isn't a JPS.
No, that's the you're looking at the one next to it. I think was a JPS one. You're just making it up now, aren't you, Ted?
I'm making it up. I'm waffling. Let's go back a bit. Let's go back in. Yeah, I just seeing it black there, it looked like. Forgive me, everybody, but it did look like a JPS.
Arbor Pendragon says there are any stickers available as prizes tonight. Unfortunately not. They're actually getting some new stickers printed. Yeah. We ran out of stickers. eModels actually ran out of stickers. So.
Yeah, and that's one of these kits that we talk about for breaking your mojo.
Oh yeah, quick build jobbies.
Quick build. Build them in an hour. Brilliant little things. And
they're like Lego. It's like Lego. They're sweet.
Brilliant. Goes together like Lego. Yeah, and once you built it, weather it. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Tony Black says no cigarette ads. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be what. Do cigarette ads count on models?
I don't know. Technically, I suppose.
Technically.
What else are we looking at? Oh, what's that little vintage one there? German passenger car.
German passenger car.
The non-specific. It's a German passenger car, which means it's probably an Opel, and Opel didn't give the permission to license the name. A lot of people don't know this, but just as a complete aside, because I've just remembered it, and I'll say it now while I remember. A lot of people wonder why whenever you build a model of the Opel Blitz, it's always just called a cargo truck. It's because, interesting fact of the day, Opel refused to license the name Opel or Blitz to model manufacturers for wartime vehicles because they want to deny the fact, they want to forget about the fact they made vehicles for the German army during World War II. So you might get one occasionally that's not licensed, so they're in trouble, but that's often why Opel vehicles are often just called German passenger car or German cargo truck, because they're not allowed to call it an Opel. So on the Tamiya one, the Opel Blitz badge on the front is there, it just doesn't say Opel Blitz on it.
Yeah.
Interesting factoid of the day.
Yeah, if you look on the on the radiator top of this one.
Mhm. That's a Mercedes, I think. So maybe again, Mercedes have said, "Yeah, you're not putting on on that." Maybe.
Yeah, just going back to that, Tony Black says we have to go. You have to go to aftermarket for cigarette ads.
All right. So I didn't know that.
So, yeah, I could have been. Yeah, I could have been right then. That could have been a JPS.
That's why I said Olympus on the side and not.
Yeah, not JPS. Yeah. So maybe the rules do apply to models.
Oh, Smooth says the same. Often have to order aftermarket decals for some cars and bikes if they have cigarette adverts. In the same way that German model manufacturers like Revell can't put swastikas on their German kits. Which can be quite annoying sometimes, but obviously it's illegal in Germany. So again, you have to go for aftermarket. So that if anybody who's built the German 1/72 scale 7C U-boat, you get like a little paper flag, and it's just got the circle but no swastika on it.
Yeah, I've got those here. I don't know if you can pick them out. I'm sharing the screen.
You're sharing the screen, Ted.
No, there we go. Just seeing that in the corner of them, there's no swastikas in the middle.
Yeah, to me, I get round it by you have to kind of make them out of those, don't you?
Yeah, the little crosses in the corner, and you can make them up.
No, I think for Tamir, I think that's so they can sell them in Germany without having to redo the decals. With Revell, because they're German, Revell GmbH, they can't manufacture them with those, so they just do them without them completely for anywhere. So some manufacturers just stick them on. I think Airfix just put them in anyway because the Airfix don't care.
I do believe that in Germany it's actually an offence to display the swastika.
It is actually illegal to use Nazi symbolism or paraphernalia or gestures.
So if you went to a model show in Germany, you would see a U-boat, and if it had a Nazi flag on it, it would have a sticker across the emblem. And I think I've seen some TV programs where they've gone to the tank museum, and when it comes to the German tanks, there's a bit of gaffer tape over the swastikas, just so that you can broadcast in Germany.
The same way, video games that have Nazis as bad guys, when they're in Germany, they're kind of relabeled and rebranded, so they don't have swastikas on their armbands, anything like that. You can kind of understand why they do it, though. TK says Revell do the swastikas. It may be that on some of the ones made outside Germany, so the ones made in the US, they might have them on them. My U-boat obviously was made in Germany, I guess, because it just had the blank flags.
Right. Cup of tea. Cup time. Should we do a cup giveaway?
Oh yeah, let's do a cup giveaway. Have you got a question? I haven't thought of a question. I know. I've got a very easy question. Should we have an easy question or a hard question? Because I've got an easy one.
We'll have an easy question. If you know the answer as well, and you don't want a mug, please don't answer the question.
Yes, it just makes our life harder.
It just complicates things. If you know the answer to the question, yeah, great, thank you very much. But if you don't want a mug, or you've recently won a mug, we'd appreciate it if you didn't answer the question until the winner did. So there, it just makes things a little bit easier and stops all the arguing. We get through everything. So go ahead with your question then. And you can't answer. If you answer too early before I say go, you'll have to wait.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be the easiest question we've ever asked, possibly.
Okay, here we go.
The big, huge German tank we showed earlier on was called the Mouse. What is, in English, what does mouse translate to? M-A-U-S. What does that translate to in English?
You've
got to say go, Ted.
Oh, sorry, go. I didn't say go, did I? Yeah.
After all that, wait till I say go.
Yeah.
Bang, straight away. There we go. Wattington. Mouse.
Mouse. Yeah. Brilliant. That's easy.
That really was a simple, fastest fingers, that one.
Yeah, he did give an incorrect answer just before I said go, which was Spitfire.
He has a new tank. It's called the Spitfire. I think that may be taken.
Wattington, send me your details, please, to ted@emodels.co.uk. I shall just type it in. Ted. That's
what, Wattington?
Typing things. When you've got about 3.
Do you want me to type it?
When you've got about 3 keyboards in front of you, it becomes a little bit.
There you go. I've done it for you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Ted at e. Oh no, I spelled it wrong. Hang on, that wasn't.
You said it, gerbil. eModels.
When you've got 3 keyboards and Ted in your ear talking, you spell things wrong. Ted at eModels.co.uk.
Is eModels the Dutch company?
eModels, no, it's eModels.
Ted at eModels.co.uk. If you send us your name and address, please. And remember the terms and conditions. Once you get your mug, you've got to have a silly photograph of it.
Yep. TK says eModels. Yes, eModels. It's the Dutch version. It's the Dutch branch of eModels.
Yeah, we're opening a Dutch branch. Right.
eModels. Ted bought one of my dyslexic keyboards. No, it was mine. It's me, Smith, not Ted.
Yeah,
I'm the one with the typings.
Yeah,
I made this terrible mistake that I've not got the best eyesight, and my keyboard died, a bit like Ted's. So I had to buy a keyboard quickly, and the only one I could find in the shop were black. And this room is not the brightest room, so now I've got a dark room with a black keyboard. It's not fun. I need to get myself a white keyboard like I had last time. So I'm like, when I type a comment on Facebook, I've probably edited it about 6 times before you even see it.
Well, I've got the laptop. I've got keyboard version 1, which is dead.
Dead.
That's in the bin. And I had to dash upstairs and get my son's keyboard version 2 because he's a PC gamer. Well, he's not a PC gamer. He's an Xbox gamer and things like that. So he just keeps buying these keyboards that get bigger and bigger and light up and everything.
Nice.
Right.
If you want to actually get yourself an eModels mug, by the way, obviously we give one away, but they are for sale on eModels website.
I'll just find them.
$6.95, is that right, Ted? $6.95.
I'm just going to find it. I will screen share it. I'll put the mug in there.
I'm making the camera on you. Go along and add one to your order. Pop it in your basket, and ask them just to send it to you. They'll send it to you without charging the shipping on it. Is that right? Have I said that right? Have I just peeked into a corner?
Yeah, along with everything else he's got to do tonight. Right, I'll screen share it. Going across the screen share. There we go. Screen share. Scale Model Enthusiast mug. There we go. $6.95.
Now Ted always says you can just bang that in your basket and ask for free shipping. I don't know if you have to order other stuff as well. I don't know.
Click on that. Click Add to Basket, and then if you scroll down, it says for free postage, select in-store pickup.
Yep.
Collect in store, and the guys will put that in a box and send it out to you, and it will arrive
in a box.
Very short. Yeah, look, we've got people here with mugs. Yee, who's he?
A mug with a mug.
Who's that? Yep, that's another eModels. Sorry, I do apologise. I can't remember everybody's name who's won the mugs. And there's another one.
So you have to send the picture in, but of course then you're on the internet forever.
Yep, send us a picture. Terms and conditions do apply. With
whoever that was is very cleverly avoiding the picture altogether. Is that Carl? I can't remember who that is now.
No, that was a chap that won it this week, I think. Sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so I do apologise. I can't remember everybody's name.
It looks like tea in that cup, and that's incorrect.
He hasn't got a strip waffle on the top.
Nah, well, it's because it's tea. You need coffee. You need coffee, really.
Yeah. Right. So there we are. That's it. Yep.
Cool beans. Back again.
Yeah. Thank you very much for these people. I actually hadn't noticed that the pictures were down there.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for sharing them.
Mr. Loth's Model Making is offering me his old keyboard. I'm actually going to go and grab one tomorrow. A little white keyboard.
Yeah.
Nick McVeigh says he just looked in his stash after someone mentioned the 6-wheel Tyrrell. That was me. I've just dug mine out. I forgot I had it. See, we do wonderful work here on this live stream. We will connect you with your childhood, and trust me, my stash goes back to my childhood sometimes.
Right. God, we've been going an hour and a half.
Yay! Doesn't seem like that.
Got any more questions? We're quite welcome to stay here longer.
Yeah, go for it. If anybody's got any questions, bang them into the chatteroonies. I'm trying to think of any questions that came up from something like the Boom Hut or anything like that.
Why don't they put Fox in Ted face on the mugs?
They want to sell them.
Yeah. Dear Pete, here's your mug back.
I wanted Ted and I got Fox. I demand a refund.
Right.
Wattington says he sent his email.
Yeah, thank you. I've got that. Yeah, it's just popped up.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Philip. Yeah, thank you very much for that.
Yes. Shall I mention the egg build treehouse thing?
Yeah, we did mention that.
Ted did mention it earlier. For those of you who don't know, obviously Ted and I have lives outside of this. There is a group on Facebook called the Model Makers Boom Hut. It's facebook.com/groups/model boom hut. It's free to join. It's just a group for model makers. It's a nice comfy lounge where you can all chill out and hang out, and there's no nastiness on there. But we're doing a group build.
Are you wearing my teeth?
I'm wearing your teeth. I don't know what you're wearing. You're wearing my mum's teeth. A group build is based on eggs. So it could be an egg plane. eModels have got loads in stock. Egg plane, egg tanks. There's a Sherman and a Tiger. They're absolutely adorable. It could be a chibi battleship. It could be an SD Gumpler. Anything that's super deformed and not normal shape. Space shuttle, plane, whatever it is. And the idea is you build it, post up pictures of the build ongoing, then submit the picture. It's not based on skill. It's not the best painted model wins. It's actually the silliest one wins. We're opening it to everybody, so it's not just... So if you're a brand new modeler and you've only been doing it for 2 weeks, you're going to think, I can't enter this because I've not got the skills. Doesn't matter. It may not be the best painted model that wins. It could be, it's going to be the silliest model. If it makes us giggle and makes us laugh. There are silly little prizes, but don't get too hung up on those. They're only silly little things. But it's absolutely free. Join the Boom Hut. It's a great place to hang out, and join the egg build, because you've got a couple of months. You've got a month and a half to go. End of July. End of July? No, 1st of July.
Smooth says, can you use real eggs? Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to. You can do it straight from the box as a kit. You can scratch build something completely. You can mod something. You can use real eggs. Might get a bit stinky, but yeah, you can use real eggs. Whatever you want to do, as long as it's super deformed in some way, and chibi and cute and kawaii and SD, whether it's the kit is actually an SD kit or a super deformed kit or chibi kit, or whether you've customized a normal kit. Let's say you took I don't know, a space shuttle and made it into an egg space shuttle, even though you can get kits. That would still count because you made a chibi kit. And it's open to everybody in the world of any skill level. We're not judging it based on how good you are.
This is all about fun. It's the silliness, it's the cuteness, it's not about the model, and it's not about prizes.
So the old boy just makes a very good point. He says, super deformed, so any Revell kit then.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, the competition's over now because he just won it, just for that joke.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. It's not about the prizes, because the prizes ain't brilliant.
Well, they are brilliant. They're not worth anything. They are brilliant. You probably want to hide them in a cupboard when you get it, but they're dumb. We've said that before. They're just dumb. So it's more about taking part and having fun and getting ideas off each other and having a laugh with all the other members and seeing how far you're getting. Again, it's about silliness. So the more fun you can have with the group building them, the more fun you can have.
Yeah, right. Good. Brilliant. Anything else from anybody out there?
Any questions?
We've had a lot of people in tonight. Numbers have been up and down, but we've been fairly consistent with people watching.
I'm quite pleased I can get the chat on the same screen now and it doesn't break my computer.
Yeah, I was trying. Yeah,
I don't need the world's slowest iPad anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter. Oh, Peter's still here with us. Hi, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Do be tied back up. Sorry about that. Sorry, sir.
Last thing. Peter says last thing.
Any more for any more? Yeah.
Any more for any more? Last call now.
All right. Thank you. Well, I think we'll call it a night. Everybody's sort of falling asleep and needing a hot cup of cocoa and a fruit waffle and getting themselves ready for bed. Pete says, does anybody want one of these? A Tacom 135 British APC F432 Mark 1. I'll see if I find it. Hang on. I've still got the...
Okay.
Have a look on the screen.
Just so people know in the comments, Peter Dennis is like the eModels. So...
Tacom... I can't type APC. Let's see if we can search that. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, it's that one that features. It's the one that features on the front. Oh, I'll share the screen with you now. Now I've found it.
I've focused on you.
Right,
Spotlight.
Share the screen. Sharing it. Right. Does anybody want one of them? He says.
I'd say the answer's pretty much going to be yeah.
Yeah, I think people are going to say yeah. Are we giving that away, Peter?
Yeah, you might just want to clarify that. Are you selling it, or is it just to give away? Or I was about to say something, but I thought no, I better not just say it was a giveaway in case it's not. So
yeah, it's yeah. We reviewed this a few weeks ago, didn't we, when it first came in store? Yeah, but it is a fantastic. Once again from Tacom, really coming up, an up and coming company which we hadn't really heard of from before, or I hadn't heard of them. This is one with a full interior. Oh, right. Peter says, ask a question.
All right.
All right.
So the first person to ask a question.
Right.
Is that right? Okay,
right.
The first person to ask it, and it can't be like, what's your favourite colour?
Okay,
Proper question.
Okay, then. Right. APC. What does APC stand for? Go.
There we go.
What does APC stand for?
Yeah, remember the first person to answer it gets this kit. APC.
Yeah, there's the first answer. Mr. North, armoured personnel carrier. Well done. Well done, that man.
They all just kind of came in at the same time, so it took everybody that long to type it all out.
Yeah, but it's the first one to appear on our screen.
Yep. First one we see.
Yep. As we said before, it may appear differently on your screen. The first one to appear on our screen was Mr. North,
yes.
Which is Vincent, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm a personal carrier. Once again, Vincent, I appreciate it. We may have your address, but if you could again send it to us.
Email address has been posted in the comments.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll get that off to you.
How was that for a surprise ninja giveaway? No warning surprise ninja giveaway. See, sometimes it's worth staying for the post credits, whatever it is at the end of the credits.
Yeah, wait till the credits go, because you never know, they might have that little bit just at the end. Have you ever sat through it at the cinema and then found you sort of sat because there's a big crowd waiting for everybody dashing out the doors, and you miss a little comment on the credits at the end?
Sometimes, depending on the film, the actual best bit of the film can be the bit after the credits. Trust me, I've sat through films like that.
Right, that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Pete for throwing that out there.
Yeah, oops, I'll come back to that. Stop sharing. Yeah, it's brilliant, Peter. Thank you very much for coming along. Brilliant. Oh, that was a bit of a surprise for me. If I'd have known that, I'd have entered it myself.
Well, you'd have logged on to somebody else. You just texted someone, just log on and type this.
Log on, I'm going to answer this question in a minute. How fast can I type it?
What Wattington says, spelled it wrong. Damn, it's like, wow, you would have won that and a mug.
Yeah, well, brilliant. But you've got to send us a picture with the model when it arrives. Remember?
Yep.
Picture, model, prize. This is the guy that won the prize. Thank you very much. So we'd like to, we'll add it on to the eModels Facebook page. eModels.
Just to reiterate, because a couple of people mentioned it, we do go off the first person to comment that we see on our screens. It may vary on your screen because you get preference with your own comments. Your screen gives your update first, but when we get the comment through here, it's everybody at the same time, so we have to go off the one we see first. So there can sometimes be confusion because different people see different answers, but we go off what we can see.
Yeah. Okay, and yes, Scott, they are in stock. So yeah, if you didn't unfortunately win one, you can nipper along to eModels and get yourself one anyway.
We'd like to hope that Peter wouldn't offer a giveaway for a kit he didn't have in the dog. He's probably checked that. We'll just
So it's thank you very much. Okay, everybody. I think it's time. 10:41 now. 10:41 BST. So it's time for us to go. Thank you once again for everybody that joined in. It's been really fun. With a surprise giveaway at the end, so you never know. Drop in.
It's worth coming along. You never know when the boss man might be in and giving stuff away.
Yeah, so brilliant. So okay, everybody, thank you very much. It's time for us to go and have a lie down in a dark room. But we look forward to seeing you all again next week. We look forward to your comments on the eModels Facebook page. And tell your friends about us. Come along, have some fun, ask the questions, and just have a hangout or listen to us in the background while you're at your workbench. But,
like I said at the start, though, we have sorted out now the issue where you go onto the eModels website to watch the live stream and it wouldn't come up. That works now. So if ever you want to come and watch us, if you can't find us on YouTube, just go straight to emodels.co.uk/live, I think, and it'll be the live stream on there from 9 PM on Mondays.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so well, it's right. As we say again, it's Ted eModels.co.uk. I'll spin. Yeah, I'd spin round, but
Yeah, don't spin round, Ted.
Right.
So I spin around. I've got a shorter wire.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah,
Oh, garrotting yourself.
Yeah. So if you ever see that walking down the street, just tap on the shoulder. I know you. Yeah.
Where's my mug? Can I have a mug?
You must be the eModels man. I claim my free mug.
And I'll be like, this is a public toilet. Can you wait 5 minutes?
Right. Thank you very much, fellas.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us, and come along next week and join in the fun. I will see you all again. Okay, so goodbye from me, and it's
Adios, amoebas.
bye.
Bye.
Wiggly thumbs, wiggly thumbs. You've got the button again, it's sweet, remember?
I know.
Yeah,
Wait till I press the button till I make you wait. How long can you do the thumbs for?
Press the bloody button.
Ready?
Press the button. Go on, press the button.
What, press it now?
Press the button. Press the button.
Shall I press it now?
Press it now.